Guns, dames, hats. Okay, according to the Guardian newspaper, those are the three essentials of a film noir. You of course have them all in Bombay Velvet. You also got the reckless hero, you've got the heroine with the past, you've got the villain, crime, suspense. Is this, Anurag, would you like it to be the definitive Mumbai noir?
I would love it to be.
Like the last one?
Yeah, it's got the girl in the garden.
Yeah,
like
everything.
And the cigar. And prohibition.
And the villain.
Yeah, and a slimy.
Slimy.
And apparently you helped him discover the villain in himself?
No, I actually saw the villain in him.
Whatever that means.
Is there like a nasty streak there? No, then, do you have to, what do you tap on, right? I mean, it's a valid, actors come in here, please. Is this a valid question?
No, I definitely do feel like, of course the part of Khambata was written with a certain sense of meanness and the evil that Khambata is. But I think a script also evolves on set, and I think Karan just brought himself into the film. He just played it how he would be in life.
All our respective alter egos have a mean, nasty, manipulative and scheming side. But we just put this coat of humanity on top of it because that's the requirement of the hour. Actually, everyone has a Khambata in them. So when he told me that, I feel like there is, he didn't say that I was nasty, there's not a nasty side. He felt there was a twisted side to my personality, which is always affable, amiable and accessible. But he said there is something, because you can't have that look in your eyes if there isn't a certain twisted part of your persona. And he made me realize that perhaps he's right. Because there is a part of me that wants to throttle people. There's a part of me that wants to see people dead. There's a part of me that actually can't stand what's happening and I want to vehemently murder and assault them physically with my own hands. But then there's a part of me that...
You've really got Ranbir's attention. I was like,
but then there's the other part of me that has been raised by very wonderfully emotionally charged
so you can't let loose.
And you can't really do that. You don't break the law. You don't murder people. You don't have those thoughts, or you police yourself in a certain way. But actually we all have a negative streak in each and every one of us.
But you're also, I mean, not villain Ranbir, but obviously this is a man who's really ambitious and willing to do a lot of things to get there. You, of course, spoken very passionately about this being the most challenging film to date, the most creatively satisfying film to date, but why? I mean, why is it more than, let's say, a Rocket Singh or a Rockstar?
Because it's the latest.
And you've got to say it.
And you feel it because you forget your old
experiences. So it's in your bones right now.
It's in, and it took time for this film to leave me because the experience of this film was so great. We shot this film within 80 days. A film with songs, dances, action, period, characters. In 80 days we were done. So, I mean, before we realized like the fun that we were having, the film was over. But also Anurag and me took time for us to gel, for him to like me and for me to like him. And I think that's the most important part. Like Karan also says, the actor and director have to be in love with each other. We've also discussed this earlier on. So I think that part was a challenge.
And for you, Anushka, I mean, the femme fatale is really such a cliche of film noir. How did you two create her to be like not a cliche?
I think firstly I was really surprised that Anurag offered me this part, because every time that I've been used by an actor, by a director in a film, it's a performance with a lot of talking, a lot of expressing, and like the Punjabi, bubbly, all those stereotypes that were attached to me. So when he offered this to me, I was very surprised because it was nothing like that. In fact, my character doesn't even talk that much in the film. But somehow I think Anurag was very convinced about it.
For me, one thing that was very unique about her is she didn't remind me of any actress. Anybody you see, you remind the way their hair is or the way they perform. They're always trying to be someone there.
There are no echoes with her.
There's nothing. There's no echoes with her. She was so fresh and she was so absolutely new and did not remind me of anyone and brought her own personality with it. And it was already there. I didn't need to see her just be all chirpy there. And there's so much internal that she can do because her angst is there. She does carry a lot of angst.
Is that true? You carry a lot of angst?
Yeah, yes, we all do, right? I mean, I think a lot of times that's what actually translates into performance. I mean, all that angst, it has to have an outlet. And I think in a way, for me, it comes out through that. I mean, that's the only place where I feel like I don't think before I do something. That's why sometimes, that I have that attitude.
Anurag, this is of course your most expensive film. Dibakar Banerjee had once told me that when independent-minded filmmakers work in a studio setup, what they do is they insert small defiances. So what are the small defiances in Bombay Velvet?
I think jazz.
Is that
Jazz was the biggest defiance in the film. That we're going with the kind of a music, because music being a very high selling point in our industry, and music being also the way a lot of films are promoted by using music. It gets you free plays. Whole lot of things depends on the music of the film. That I think was one of the biggest defiances in the film.
now? I thought there were only 2 directors on this set, but apparently you were directing Karan
And me.
and you.
Yeah.
And everything that's
His pearls of wisdom were like never far from us.
Like what? What? Give me a pearl
No,
of wisdom.
to be honest, that's also now that's just a misconception. I wasn't really directing them. It's just that I'm so friendly with them, and you know the amount of time that you have on a film set when you're idle not doing anything. So I'm joking around with Anushka, maybe just to irritate her because she was extremely irritating. But with Karan, it's just we were just like fooling around. It's not that he was really taking my direction. But sometimes, I mean, don't take the credit away. I did give you some great suggestions.
Yeah, he didn't give a suggestion, Anu. He would say, can you do it again? I didn't feel it. And it was not the director who has said this to me. It was my co-actor who has told me, do it again, I didn't feel it. And I'm also listening, because you're vulnerable. It's your first film of sorts. And before Anurag, and when Anurag doesn't...
एहसान फरामोश कितने अच्छे nuances भी बोले थे.
Nuances कौन से बोले थे?
चल ठीक है
You
भूल
see,
गए.
the thing is, if Anurag doesn't come out doing the tango, that means he's not entirely happy. So, because otherwise Anurag comes doing some kind of an Anurag dance.
Lanvi.
Do you?
When he knows
When
that.
you're happy, you like literally.
Yeah, like that. He comes doing some shake.
And he kisses you.
And he comes and he hugs you and kisses you and smothers you with love. So, when you don't see the dance and then you have your co-actor telling you, do it again, you're believing him because you haven't seen the dance, and invariably he would time it when the dance didn't happen. So, I was directed to do another take by Ranbir Kapoor. But Ranbir Kapoor has a tendency of saying things with such tremendous authority that you tend to
What
take him
absolute
seriously.
rubbish.
I mean, but he'll say it with authority and you will actually believe
And you
it
would do it
because-
again.
Oh yeah, you would do anything he would tell you. He would say, no, it's not true. This is not right. Check.
That's what makes him
And
a
he'll
great
say,
actor.
he's the one, he's acting even off screen, but he just doesn't know it.
I think that's the thing with actors, right? Everything is about conviction. So if you say a thing with conviction, the other person tends to believe it.
That's what he
It
said.
just makes you feel. I know, but I'm just kind of putting it through. So
To
just
convince you more.
yeah.
About
So-
his conviction.
But what was the one note you gave him on how to act, or gave her?
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I'm nobody to give a note because half the time I'm wondering.
Just,
like,
but still.
Nothing. I didn't give them any note. I just remember with Karan, it was. I just felt a little responsible because like he showed his vulnerable side to me during the shoot. Like what is happening and take ja raha hai na. So just to to fill up the spaces and all, I thought, chalo, let me help him because I don't really care about other people, so I wouldn't help them. But because I'm fond of Karan, I was trying to help him. With Anushka, it was just about irritating her because she used to irritate me, and I wanted to say things, and I know things how to get her goat. I mean, it's very easy. So it was just that. It was utter time pass.
Yeah.
I never worked with Anushka, so I didn't see this dynamic. I, meanwhile, was loving. Though I have to say, he was amazing. I mean, I feel like almost spoilt now because I've done this one and only film, and I'd like to be directed by Anurag again and have Ranbir in it. Because now I think if I work with somebody else, it won't be as much fun.
What is going on with this movie? I mean, what is with this entire buzz of, just the negativity around it? What's going on? Like, why did it happen? What happened?
I think a lot has to do with me because
Why?
being at the helm of it, because I'm not considered to be this mainstream director and the release date being postponed. So all the people that doubted earlier thought that it's kind of underlined that if they push the release, there must be something wrong with the film. And then the speculations start, and then you ask people around what is going on, and then you have these half-truths or these stories that come and they blow up. So I think that's what has been going on.
Also, I think we're not used to this whole concept of actually having a ready product and actually waiting for a release. Not in this case, it was ready. But the post really took a while. We're used to shooting is khatam, 4 mahine ke baad you must release the film. It doesn't entirely like it. The Western model doesn't work like that. Sometimes they've had like brilliant blockbusters that have been in the waiting for a year, because they're planning, they're strategizing. It's a studio model of the West. We unfortunately are such victims of our own circumstances that we don't understand that every film has a different story, in terms
So you
of-
assume something's wrong.
you assume the worst. Like Anurag says, his reputation was preceding him. Then they were making all kinds of stories about Ranbir Kapoor not being happy, his father not being happy.
And also my earlier film,
And-
Desharam, didn't do well at the box office, so that
So I
also
mean,
hinders your.
They were not even jumping, they were leaping to conclusions. It was like literally taking a giant leap to a conclusion you know nothing about. And just because you have an international editor doesn't mean that the Indian editor was doing a bad job. Sometimes it just means that they have a different perspective, and taking the expertise of a
Actually,
prolific
making a film
person is the order of the
better.
day. And I wish we all had the opportunity of Thelma working on our film. I mean, you know, it's like I
It's
remember,
an honor,
like
really.
my
It's an
editor-
honor, and
It's an
you see
honor,
the
yeah.
difference in what she's done.
Yeah.
Since a film that we already like, she just goes ahead and makes it even better.
Karan, do you think you have now a better understanding of the actor's craft? Can you direct them better when you will in your movie?
I have more respect, definitely. It's not that I didn't respect actors before, but I now respect their insecurities. But what my take back from this film, more than my understanding of actors, is my understanding of him and how he has probably changed my ethos of cinema taking as a result of me being on the Bombay Velvet set. Because his shot division and the way he divides the scene, the way he conceptualizes and shoots it, is diametrically different from anything I've ever done. All I did right through Bombay Velvet was try to find the camera. I never knew where it was. It was always hiding somewhere. We were never ever, there was no camera ever in front of us. All I would do is ask Ranbir, where's the camera? And he would tap because he always knows. Somehow Jaga Jasus here knows everything that ever happens on the set. So he always knows where things are, what is happening. He knows everything. And I felt like such a dumbass director, Anu, on that set, because I would feel like I made nothing. I kept saying, where's the camera? And they would say, it's there. And Rajiv would be behind some plant, and I would say, oh. So with the result, what he doesn't realize, or maybe he consciously does it, he leaves you on your own. There's no camera in front of you, and you're acting completely without any inhibition. And as a result, your performance is that much better, because there's nothing staring at you. And I understood that can really result in very high level and high standard performances. So my take back is more Anurag Kashyap than it is anything else.
So are we going to see a different type of Kejo film after?
No, not at all.
Thank God.
Because there is, I just want to tell
I'm
you.
a big fan of the
because I want to
traditional.
tell you, while I appreciate everything he does, I'm incapable. I don't know how to create these people, these characters in this world. I don't know where he gets these thoughts from. Was it a troubled childhood, or is it a troubled? Was it a troubled puberty zone? I don't know where he gets these people who are whacked out, who are walking the path of grey, who are almost like suicidal, and some potential asylum cases. I really don't understand where his mind works. I feel, and I met his parents, they are so wonderfully normal. So I don't know. They say that bachpan mein gir gaya tha. I mean,
And so is his brother actually. I mean, I've worked
everyone
with
is
both.
normal around Anurag Kashyap, but Anurag Kashyap, because his cinema is not a reflection of himself also sometimes. If you see him, he's like a happy child waiting to be rattled, you know, or given a rattle, and he'll get happy if you give him a toy. But actually he's not that in his cinema telling, you know, I mean in terms of his celluloid vision, he's a mess, a glorious mess. Like, you know, he has blood all over him. Like, you know, why? I really want to know why. Going into the deep angles of Anurag Kashyap's mind would be the darkest journey anyone can ever take.
Or maybe the simplest one.
Perhaps is how you look at it.
But you said that Ranbir is going to one day make a really good director. So
Ranbir will not make a good film, he'll make it amazing.
Yeah,
He is completely, if there's any actor who will turn into a most amazing filmmaker, it will be Ranbir Kapoor. Because he has the mentality, he will eventually have the vision, and I think he certainly has
He has the
talent.
curiosity.
I mean, he's a master storyteller, he just doesn't know it. What's great about Ranbir, he doesn't know his own genius. And I find that very common between both of them. Like Anushka and he, I think the reason why they're so brilliant together also, but I don't think they get their genius. They are just born talented. You know, sometimes you don't have to work very hard and you're just there.
Anushka, you don't get your genius?
Huh?
You don't get your genius?
She's just welcomed her back from where Amir had gone off to. She's just back to our interview. Hi. How are you? Hi. How was your journey? How did it feel, Anushka?
How did it feel up there?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. We take a few naps to Pluto and Mars once in a while. Fortunately for us, it never happens on when the camera is rolling, unless it's a journalist's camera, which she always like. But we must welcome our lilac wonder. She's back with us now in the game. Clap. Anushka Sharma's back. Yes. The lady was asking, do you get your own genius? Bombay Velvet.
Well, like, how to answer this
15th
question
May.
now? What have you answered?
He hasn't?
But what is so special about the film?
Anushka just said, I said you're naturally gifted. Do you feel you are too? Why have I become you?
Very good. No, please take over.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, I just know that the first time I faced the camera, which was for Abhinay, my only intention was that this should look like very normal, like very real. And I just remember that thought, you know. So I think if if I have to go with that, so maybe that's just, I mean, it should just always look like, you know, you're not acting, you're just being, you're just, I don't know how to explain that.
Well done.
How sick you are. How sick.
On that happy note. Thank you. Thank you. If, like me, you love all things filmy, subscribe to Film Companion. Hit that subscriber button to get your film fix.